Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. 1923 Season 2 Episode 4 proves Alexandra and Spencer Dutton must run the Yellowstone Ranch. Spencer, Brandon Sklenar, and Alex Dutton, Julia Schlatfer, are the perfect duo to run the ranch at the end of 1923 Season 2, and Episode 4, Journey the Rivers of Iron, proves that in a small yet significant way. Spencer and his wife both journey to Montana by train, albeit on two very different yet harrowing experiences. After she is robbed in the bathroom at Grand Central Terminal, Alex chases after her train, making it at the last moment by throwing her bag and leaping onto the train's caboose deck. Alex's actions showed bravery, proving her dedication. Meanwhile, on the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, terrible things have happened to Elizabeth Strafford, Michelle Randolph, causing Jack Dutton's Darren Mann sweetheart to have a difficult winter. Elizabeth is threatened by a mountain lion in the premiere, and a rabid wolf bites her in 1923 Season 2, Episode 2. After receiving rabies shots in her stomach, held down against her will, Elizabeth vows to leave the ranch lifestyle behind her for good. While Jack's wife gets good news in 1923 Season 2, Episode 4, possibly changing her trajectory, the chapter confirms the Yellowstone Ranch's best path forward after 1923 Season 2. Despite their contrasting experiences, Alex and Elizabeth both have it rough in 1923 Season 2. Therefore, for very different reasons, Alexandra and Elizabeth are both desperate to make it to Boston in 1923 Season 2, Episode 4. For Alexandra, Boston is where she will arrive at a connecting train station, making an interchange to board a train heading west to Billings, Montana. Despite being beaten and robbed in the restroom, Alex's dedication to reuniting with Spencer propels her forward through yet another dehumanizing experience, finding her will to continue in the memory of her husband and their intimate connection. In contrast, Elizabeth is desperate to leave the Duttons' ranch, and thereby her husband, in 1923 Season 2. Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, tells Elizabeth that she can come back if she does leave, saying he doesn't blame her for wanting to escape the snow. However, as far as we know, Elizabeth plans to board a train to Boston to flee the ranch in 8 days. While no one could blame her after all the terrible things that happened to Elizabeth in 1923, Jack's wife treats her commitment to her life partner as a choice, whereas Alex sees it as her destiny. As Jacob and Cara Dutton, Helen Mirren, explain, life on the ranch is a challenging yet rewarding life. So far, in 1923, Elizabeth's experience suggests that she was hardwired for ranch life. In contrast, Alex proves that she is willing to do whatever it takes to be with her husband and fight for his family, especially in 1923 Season 2, Episode 4. As with every generation that occupies the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, Jacob and Cara will eventually pass the ranch down to the next generation, leaving me to wonder who will succeed them, possibly starring in Yellowstone's 1944 prequel. Like Yellowstone's Monica, Kelsey Asbill and Case, Luke Grimes, or John Dutton Hayes, Kevin Costner, own daughter, Beth Dutton, Kelly Riley, not everyone loves living on the ranch. While ranch life might not be what she was expecting, Alex's actions lead me to believe, unlike Elizabeth, that she has the grit and determination required to stand by Spencer and defend the ranch throughout the 20th century. While Jack and Elizabeth are a sweet pair, and I believe they'll stick together if they survive 1923, Spencer and Alex remind me of the other Dutton power couples who helm the family's empire. If ever there was a single episode that shouted across the Montana plains, these two were born to lead. It's 1923 Season 2, Episode 4. Alexandra and Spencer Dutton don't just survive in this hour of television, they define it. Through grit, passion, and an almost otherworldly bond, they emerge as the only logical heirs to the Yellowstone legacy. Let's set the scene. After episodes of being tossed around by fate, nature, and family trauma. Episode 4 gives Spencer and Alexandra a rare moment of clarity. But that moment doesn't come without fire. In fact, it's forged in fire, literal and metaphorical, and it's in the blaze that we truly see what they're made of. Spencer, a seasoned man of war and wilderness, has always carried the ghosts of battle in his eyes. But here, we see those ghosts quiet down, if only for a moment. Why? Because he's finally found purpose beyond survival. Alexandra isn't just his wife, she's his anchor and his compass. When she looks at him, she doesn't see the killer, she sees the man. And it's that duality that makes him the ideal Dutton leader. Someone who can fight like a savage when needed but govern with depth and empathy. Meanwhile, Alexandra, who began this saga as a highborn woman escaping an arranged marriage, has evolved into one of the fiercest characters in the Yellowstone universe. She no longer clings to Spencer for protection. She walks beside him, equal in strength, ferocity, and resolve. And in episode 4, her steel is on full display. There's a pivotal scene, and fans will know exactly which one, where Alexandra faces off with a group of men who dare to question her presence, her choices, and her worth, and she doesn't back down. Not only does she defend herself with words sharper than any blade, but she also asserts her right to the Dutton name, the Dutton fight, and yes, the Dutton ranch. In that moment, she's not just Spencer's wife, she is a Dutton. What sets this episode apart is that it recenters the narrative around the future, not the endless battles of the present. While other members of the Dutton family struggle to hold on, Spencer and Alexandra envision what could be, and that's crucial. Because Yellowstone, for all its iconic beauty and brutal history, can't survive on tradition alone. It needs vision. It needs leaders who understand the cost of war but don't glorify it. Leaders who can heal, not just hurt. Episode 4 makes it crystal clear. Spencer and Alexandra are those leaders. It's not just about who's strongest, it's about who has balance. Jacob Dutton, admirable as he is a product of his time, a man too hardened, too wedded to the old ways. Kara, bless her, has held the family together with letters and love, but she's nearing the end of her strength. Spencer and Alexandra are the bridge. They represent the best of the old and the promise of the new. Think about it. Who else could wrangle the land, face the enemies, endure the storms, and still find a way to love each other in the ruins? Who else could carry forward the spirit of the Duttons without repeating their mistakes? Their journey, especially in this episode, has been about more than survival. It's been about transformation, about becoming. In one quiet scene near the end of the episode, Spencer and Alexandra stand overlooking a stretch of land that resembles Montana. There's longing in their eyes, not just for home, but for purpose. And in their silence, you can almost hear the ranch calling to them. Not as a burden, not as a fight, but as a legacy they're meant to inherit. Spencer knows what war costs. Alexandra knows what freedom demands. Together, they understand what the land deserves. Not domination, but stewardship. That's the difference between them and those who came before. They don't want to own Yellowstone. They want to belong to it. And in that humility lies their power. This episode also subtly underlines a truth that's been simmering all season. The old generation won't last forever. Jacob's health is fragile. Kara's spirit, while mighty, is fraying. The ranch needs someone with fresh fire, someone who hasn't lost themselves in the war. Spencer, tempered by the horrors of Africa and the love of a woman who challenges him, is that man. And Alexandra, she's already proven she can handle the weight. She's navigated class, culture, and chaos, and emerged not just standing, but shining. She's not just a partner, she's a pillar. The kind of woman who doesn't just support a legacy, she builds one.